Hello there. It seems that were Boris Johnson to face the ballot box today, he and his party would take a battering. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost. And I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. And a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. And please also check out the recently published satirical video on our new YouTube channel, Central Broadcast UK. Link in the descriptions box below. Now, according to data collected throughout December, the Conservative Party would lose their 80-seat majority if a general election was conducted today, and Boris would lose his 7,000-plus majority Uxbridge seat to boot. Polling data platform FocalData surveyed more than 22,000 people during December using polling techniques designed to replicate a general election. And the results show that Tory supporters dropped below that of Labour, with Keir Starmer's Labour Party increasing from 32.2% to 37.7% between December 2019 and December 2020, while the Tories dropped from 43.6% to 35.6%. The outcome would be 284 seats for the Conservatives and 282 seats for Labour. On top of that, the data suggests that the Lib Dems would be wiped out down to just 2 seats. But the SNP would achieve an almost clean sweep of 57 of the 59 Scottish seats. And that outcome could lead to a Labour-SNP coalition, which would mean a massive pivot towards the UK rejoining the EU, or at least signing back into the single market and customs union. And to go into coalition with Labour, the SNP would, of course, demand their Indy Ref 2 as part of the bargain. Now, all this could be down to general discontent at the way the Tories have handled the pandemic, as well as Brexit. Not so much that people see Brexit as bad, but they see it as over, done and dusted, so people can once again safely vote red. Who knows? The next general election is currently due to occur on Thursday the 2nd of May 2024, just over 3 years away. Has Boris got the time to undo the damage? Or are we going to see him step down soon, now that Brexit's done and the vaccines are rolling out, so as to give someone else the time to build up to the next general election? Will he decide that he's won the war, so it's time to give his replacement time to win the peace? And the only way to win that peace, whether it be Boris or someone else, is to turn this economy around and start making gains across the country, and quickly. Anyway, as you can tell from the media, it is the economic and social fallout from the government's response to the pandemic that is foremost in people's minds. So the Tory levelling up agenda really will have to be for everyone. But here is the problem for the Westminster government, and it's a problem that comes with devolution. All the money sent north of the border into Scotland will be portrayed as an SNP success. Look what we've got for you, they will say. We could do so much better too if we were not shackled to the rest of the UK, they will declare. While anything bad will always be blamed on London. But it's not always about the economy. Convince people that they're being hard done by, and they will react even if it makes them poorer in the long term. What it may come down to is how does Boris convince the people of Scotland to wave the Union flag rather than the saltire and the EU flag? And that now might be the nub of the matter. And as I've said in the past, many Scots voters might be choosing the SNP purely to give Boris, Brexit and the Tories as good a kicking as they can. In fact, they might otherwise be perfectly happy with the constitutional status quo. or they might not vote SNP and end up splitting the UK-minded vote. But that is not the message they will be sending south if the SNP wins an almost clean sweep. Now, speaking on the BBC Mar show today, Boris Johnson said that there should not be another independence referendum until 2055. There should be a similar gap between the 2014 Scottish independence referendum and IndyRef 2 as there was between the 1975 EU referendum and the one in 2016, he said. This is in the face of recent polling that shows support for independence is growing. The Prime Minister also said that referenda were divisive things. Referendums, in my experience, direct experience, in this country are not particularly jolly events, he said. They don't have a notably unifying force in the national mood. They should be only once in a generation. But he knows as well as anyone that Nicola Sturgeon and her SNP are intent on seeding, fueling and then feeding off of any division they can sow in their quest for independence. Overall, unless the Tories can undo the damage that lockdown has had on our economy, they are toast. Without improvement, these polling figures out today showing a collapse in Tory support can only get worse. Forget that something vaguely resembling Brexit got done. And forget that many aspects of the pandemic are devolved matters not controlled from Westminster. The people are not happy with the impact these lockdowns have had on their lives, and they are also very unhappy with the way the economic fallout from the pandemic has hit them. And fair or not, they will blame Boris Johnson for all this, whose very own seat is now at risk from a swell in Labour support. The only thing saving Tory-geddon right now is a divided Labour Party in the midst of a civil war, whilst the Tories are, for once, a relatively stable unit after decades of internal unrest. But will this Tory party be able to sell themselves to the millions of people who have been on the fecal end of the lockdown stick? Plunging into strict lockdown, the very voters who lent their vote to the Tories whilst the South had comparatively low restrictions will not be forgotten, even if that was for only a brief period. But can the decaying corpse that is today's Labour Party burst from its tomb and take power? Well, if Boris doesn't act fast to regenerate the UK economy, the Tories will be more of a corpse than Labour is. Whatever I think about this Conservative government, my blood runs cold at the thought of Keir Starmer and his merry band of liberal left champagne socialists briefly wielding their power only to hand that very same power back over to the European Union. In the past, I was told that if Scotland did go its own way, it would assure an almost permanent Tory government in the rest of the UK. But one big point to note from these figures out today is that does not now look such a sure thing. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the link in the descriptions box below and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So what do you think about this? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.